Okay, here we are again. Welcome back. Last time I didn't know where to go next. After watching that back, I have a couple thoughts. I'll try to talk a little quiet. It's bedtime. One thing is up here. So I have Boots, and I have Flipper. Boots gets me this guy over here. Soul Rock. And then Flipper gets me a few things over in the northeast. Hopefully not Zora's item, because that's 500 rupees, and I'm nowhere near having 500 rupees. And no real good ways to get 500 rupees. Beyond, like, just farming, which would be pretty boring. Alright, so that wasn't anything. It was another missile pack. Alright, let's, oh yeah, I didn't do the castle. We'll do that real quick. I didn't come here initially because I got like 3 bombs, and I wanted to use those over in Kakariko because there's just a million checks over there. Okay, come on, remember your Boots. Go fast. Oh my god. Like, how many missiles? Give me the friggin' morph ball. Kinda hoping this could be like a Super Metroid episode, so, you know, getting the morph ball is important for that. But, you know, sometimes you just wanna jump around with the Samus. We'll see where this takes us. So we got one more thing down in the basement, guarded by the flail guy. And then after this we'll go in the water with the Flipper. Hopefully we won't need to. Don't kill me, please. Oh my god. Okay. Yay. Well, Zora money. Oh yeah, I'm just saving quick to get out of here because it's faster. Okay. So we got the guy under the bridge, we got the waterfall 2 items, and then the Zora stuff. So that's 5 things to check here. Fingers crossed. Can't get that because you need the mirror to get that. Up here in the vanilla game you can get like a bunch of like, it's like a fairy that gives you a bunch of like capacity upgrades. She's not there, so that's just useless. Those capacity upgrades are kind of strewn out into the random item pool. So you'll see like a +5 bomb, +5 arrow. Oh, that's nice. Blue mail reduces damage. I don't have money to get the item from them. And that's just 10 arrows. So hold on a second. This actually means that I need to farm rupees, which is so stupid. That never happens. There's gotta be some other place I can check. Let's, come on. There's literally no other place to go. Alright, well, I am going to spare you the rupee farming and hopefully make a cut here and figure out how to put 2 videos together. Okay, we are back. Farmed my rupees. Also, after recording this second part of the video here, I realized afterwards, after watching it, that my mic was muted the whole time, which is fantastic. So I lost all that audio, and man, it was good. It was good audio. I was eloquent. It was fantastic, but it's gone now. So now I'm gonna just comment over this, just to salvage it, because I can't do this part again. I don't want to lose this part of the video, so I'll just comment over it. Alright, so now that I got my money, we go up to the big fish, and he gives us an item. Oh yeah, but before that, I had realized that I forgot one check that I could have done before farming, and it's and I even mentioned him too. It's the guy under the bridge, which I will head to now, I think. So what else? Alright, so this has been a pretty weird seed so far, actually, but it's kind of cool the way it's progressing. It's not exactly the most interesting thing in the world when you just get Morph Ball and can just run through like almost all of Super Metroid, so it'll be interesting to see how deep into Link to the Past we have to go to get Morph Ball. It could theoretically be, you know, it could be Ganon's castle, you know. We could find all the Link to the Past items here. And I remember laughing at that, because that's just another missile pack, but it at least means I didn't waste a bunch of time farming, because if that was my progress item, then that means I didn't have to do all that farming. But now we'll head up to Zora. See what he's got for us. It has to be something. So this little water portal here is the reason I can get up to this upper area, which if I showed you the map right now, it would be up in the northeast. Normally you'd need the glove to move a small rock. The glove helps you get those light colored green rocks. You can pick them up after you have the glove. But normally the glove is required to get up here, but because we have the flipper already, we're able to take that water portal up here. So let's see what all that farming got us. and it's the glove. So like I was just saying, the glove helps us move the little, actually the big ones too. When I first played the game, I was kind of confused by that. I thought the little rocks, I thought you could move the little rocks with the silver glove and the big rocks with the gold glove. But it's actually the light colored rocks you can move, big or small, with the silver glove. And the dark colored rocks are what you can move with the Titan mitt or gold glove. So now that I have my silver glove here, we're gonna, what do I do first? I think I head over to the back of the castle. So the back of the escape sequence, it's like the first thing you do in the game after you rescue Princess Zelda. The only thing is you need a lamp to do the second part of it. And that's why they sort of put her rescued for you, so you don't need the lamp. It's funny, the lamp is like something that always seems to come very late, and it's like the first item you get in the vanilla game. Even though it's not in logic to do any dark areas. You're not forced to do any dark areas without a light source. But there's not a heck of a lot that requires a light source. There's ways around it. For example, like, I didn't talk too much about the 4 portals between the 2 games. There's 4 of them. We saw one already. There's another one on Death Mountain that leads to Norfair in Super Metroid. And most of the time that's how you get up to Death Mountain, because Norfair is a quick place to get to in Super Metroid. But anyway, here we are. We needed the glove to get down here into this drop down. And that door to the south there is a dark area. You need the lamp to be there. If you're really good, you can get through pretty much every dark area, but I can pretty much only do that Eastern Palace thing that I did in the first episode. So that thing I got in the middle chest there was the only worthwhile item, and it was Varia Suit for Super Metroid. That gives you basically another level of armor, so damage reduction and heat protection. In Super Metroid, there's a lot of places with heated rooms that slowly damage you. Once you have Varia Suit, it no longer damages you. There are some short areas that you can definitely get through without Varia Suit that are heated, much like the lamp in Link to the Past. So what's my play now? Because that didn't actually get me anywhere. So that Varia Suit was not exactly a progress item. Nice item, but it didn't get me anywhere new. Oh yeah, I remember being a little bit sort of confused where to go next. And it's to finish off this the rest of Desert Palace over here. Because that's what the glove got me. The rest of Desert Palace. Pretty sure I'm explaining the glove here, picking up these little rocks. And that dark one is one you cannot pick up with this glove. You'll see a lot more of those in the Dark World. A lot more of those dark colored rocks. Alright, so we're on to Desert Palace, and I haven't gotten much out of Desert Palace when I came in here the first time, so there's a good bit left to get in here. If I hit start in the palace, I'll see if I have because I forget if I have what palace items I have, like key, map, compass. Once you have key, map, and compass, you kind of know that all the rest of the items in the dungeon are going to be items that are in the randomized pool. So either nice progress items or rupees. Stuff you don't need. So that's right, the boots as well is what's going to help me progress in this, and that's because that's going to get me this small key here. Knock it off this pedestal here, and that's going to open up the right side. A couple chests over there. And it looks like I'm getting pretty good about remembering to use my dash. So what else? So I was talking about those transition rooms. Like I said, there's 4 of them. I talked about the one that's on Death Mountain. It goes between Death Mountain and Norfair. There's another one in A Link to the Past Dark World over way on the eastern side, past the lake, past Lake Hylia. It's in the Dark World where the ice rod cave is, that ice cave. You saw me go in the first episode. That is a portal to Meridia, which is the water area in Super Metroid. So the water area in Super Metroid, you need the 3rd suit to get through that. That's gravity suit. That lets you move around in water sort of normally. Because there's no way you can get through. There is a way, but only the most gifted people can do that. You can't get through that water section without gravity suit. And then where's that 4th portal? The 4th portal is in Lower Norfair, which is a heated location, so you can't even go into that portal without various suit, without taking damage. And the Link to the Past end of that is in the Misery Mire Swamp, which is a Dark World spot. So there's 2 in Light World and 2 in Dark World, and then they're kind of spread out evenly around in Super Metroid. I don't think I've talked about Dark World that much, but it's a big mechanic in Link to the Past. The transition between Light World and Dark World. It's sort of being able to go back and forth between them will let you. Oh, nice death there. Nice work. I think that was on purpose, totally on purpose, to get some health back. So the boss that's coming up here is I forget its name, but it's like a 3 like little landworms that come up through the sand with half magic. And so I just looked at my inventory and kind of was planning ahead. I took out the fire rod because that's going to be the easiest way to kill them, especially with half magic, so it shouldn't be too bad. I'm sure I'll make it tight. And this spot, which I totally forgot about before entering here, you need a fire source to progress further. Normally at this stage of the game you'd have the lamp, you would not have the fire rod. And now I think we're getting to the boss. Excuse me. As you can see, I am by no means an expert here. You usually end up, when you're fighting most of the bosses, with so much health. I actually don't have that much here, but the blue mail helps quite a bit. But usually I have so many heart pieces throughout the way that I didn't even talk about the item that I just got, which is the Moon Pearl. The Moon Pearl is super important. The Moon Pearl is what lets me be Link in the Dark World. So now I have full Dark World access because I have a hammer, I have a glove, and I have a Moon Pearl. So now I'm going to be able to get to Dark World, be Link, and do all kinds of stuff there. It's almost a good thing that I lost the audio to the second half of this episode, because I'm pretty sure I sounded pretty annoyed with the game at this point. But I swear to God I don't. I'm enjoying myself, don't worry. But I sounded pretty annoyed because I'm just getting kind of sick of being in A Link to the Past. I kind of just want to play Super Metroid. And this opens up like so much new stuff. It opens up almost all of Dark World. and that's where I'm heading now. I'm going to head over to Kakariko and get into this first transition spot. And I'm going to get into the Dark World so Dark World Kakariko is called Thieves Town. There's not as many things as Kakariko, but there's a lot. And I can actually do the Lost Woods too, or I think they're called Skull Woods in the Dark World. The Skull Woods, there's a temple in there too, which you need the fire rod to progress through, and I have that, so. But I do not do that in this episode, I don't think. As it stands, I think there's about 9 minutes left in this. So Dark World's just a little bit more challenging. Those guys don't do more damages, but most of the enemies in the palaces do a lot more damage. What am I doing here? Where am I going? I was just on my way to the transition point, and I didn't... Oh, that's right. I go up here to show you... Well, check the pedestal. It's really more for... I usually never check the pedestal, the Master Sword pedestal, because it's just one item, and you can just kind of see what it is if you have the book. I'm kind of just doing this for illustrative purposes, just to kind of show you what... This will be one item here. It's not going to be the Master Sword. It'll be just a random item in the pool. And you can find out what it is by reading the book in front of it. And it says it's a really big flying bomb, which means it's a super missile. So, that not being an important item is kind of important to know, because it means that you don't have to get any of the pendants. The initial 3 pendants that, in the normal game you get the initial 3 pendants, you get the Master Sword, you go kill the wizard. You don't necessarily have to do that in the randomizer. So, unless that item is important, you don't have to get the pendants. So, here we go. I should be dashing through all this, but I don't always do the fastest thing. Ah, yes. I think I'm going to be beeping at you for the next few minutes here. I can, so this is an item in here in this chest game, and it's really hilarious that I need 30 rupees right now. Like, I need more rupees after all that farming. But 30 shouldn't be too difficult to get. So that's one of the items. There's one in this bombable hut here. A nice little shield. I think Link looks pretty great without a shield. He's like pumping his arms like crazy. Looks pretty funny. You no longer get that. Another house here has an item. I forget what it is. More super missiles. When we finally go into Super Metroid, I'm probably going to have like 70 of each type of missile. What am I doing? You know what? I know what it is. I just really don't want to dip into a dungeon right now. I just want to find that morph ball. So I'm not dipping into a dungeon, and I'm opting to go over here to grab another overworld item, which is up here at this guy called Stumpy. I don't even know if that's his real name. That's what it's called in the randomizer. Oh, good. Yeah. Place a bomb. More super missiles. That's right. I'm trying to avoid dipping into a dungeon at all costs. There is a cave over here that has 5 items, which is a nice little cluster. So like I was saying before, there are 7 palaces or dungeons, whatever you want to call them, in the Dark World. So they're like all over the place. You take 10 steps and you see one. Whereas in the Light World, there's only 3. So, lots of rupees that I don't need anymore, except for those 30. Would have been nice to get a 300 pack before Zora. So that was the mirror. The only thing worth mentioning in this cave was the mirror. Pretty important item. It lets you transition back to the Light World anywhere in the Dark World that you are. So that's kind of a big item for like getting on certain ledges that are like, you know, not elevated in the Light World, and then they'll be elevated in the Dark World and things like that. It doesn't get a huge number of checks, but it lets you not have to backtrack so much if you find it early, which is nice. So I could have gone in Swamp Palace there too, because I have the flipper. I would have been able to do that, but I opted not to. I believe I decided to go to Thieves Town first, which I was always in. I was already in Kakariko or Thieves Town. Oh, I remember what happened there. I thought if I saved and quit in the Dark World, I would get transitioned to the top of the pyramid, but instead it just took me back to the Light World. Which is kind of annoying. I gotta do this transition again. And then I think my plan here is to get the first few items in the Thieves Town Palace, because there's like 4 of them in a nice little cluster, just in the front. And then I think I call it an episode. So that's why you need hammer and glove. There's 2 spots that are like that. It has like a hammerable post, and then a rock to pick up that has the transition under it. So there's a couple places like that. There's another one over in the east by Eastern Palace, and that'll get us to Palace of Darkness. So we have access to like all these temples now. So we might be in Link to the Past for a while. This might be like a 5-episode Link to the Past and then 5 episodes of Super Metroid, who knows? I didn't see what that item was in the chest game. I assume nothing good. Like I said, 4 quick items in the front here, and one of them has to be the big, there it is. One of them has to be the big key, because that opens the back door that gets to the rest of the dungeon. So you're gonna have a big key and then 3 other items that could be, dungeon items as well, like a map and compass. There's the compass. All those guys on that lower level there, they kind of do a lot of damage when they hit you. It's very easy to die in this dungeon, and I believe that I do. I think the episode ends with me dying. Not to spoil it, but I believe it's going to end abruptly. I think it's right after I get the 4 items. More missiles. Excuse me again. And more health for Samus. So that little bunny that I just turned into is what you are in the Dark World when you don't have the Moon Pearl. You can't do anything. One of these enemies here shoots out a little ray that does that to you. You just briefly turn into him. And dead. Alright, see you folks. Thanks for joining.